Hey, what's up, street dogs? Eric from the Eric Street Photography blog. So, I want to share with you some thoughts I had this morning after having a nice cup of coffee. So, what I like about this timestamp in the corner, I can even keep a track of this is like the ultimate life vlogging, right? I know what time I wake up. So today is a little bit earlier for me because I'm usually the degenerate who sleeps till noon. All right. So, anyways. This is one thing I've been realizing about photography and just life in general. We have our certain mentors and our certain guides, but they tend to exert a lot of influence and power over how we think, what we believe, and maybe the problem with having too much mentors or influences is that we don't actually have enough free time for us to formulate our own opinions. So for example, even in photography and art, I think the most important thing is to know what you really like and what you don't like. And based on knowing what you like and what you don't like, you can make all the judgments there. It's figuring out what your taste is. So for example, I essentially let my own gut be my own guide when it came to photography. So I started off, I was just enthralled by the photography of Henri Cartier-Bresson. After a while, I kind of got a little bored of it. Then I remember looking at the work of what's his face, Bruce Gilden with a flash. I saw on YouTube. I was enthralled, and then after that, you know, when I was kind of done with that, I kind of really liked the photos of Martin Parr. After Martin Parr, I really liked the photos of also I like the photos of before Martin Parr, I really liked the gritty photos of Daido Moriyama. And actually being able to name drop all these famous photographers, I don't know if it actually did me more good or it did me more worse. In some ways it did me bad because it actually, I think, trying to gain some sort of legitimacy in the photo world in terms of like knowing photographers X, Y, and Z, truth be told, it might have actually set back my own personal discovery by like 9 years. Like if I'm truly honest with myself, because the problem with like studying these famous photographers and the masters in the past is that I think a lot for a lot of us, it's not about really liking these famous photographers of the past. Essentially, it's this kind of like learning how to categorize and schematize them in order for us to gain legitimacy in the eyes of others. Now, I think generally this ain't a good thing because ultimately, I think the future of photography belongs to children in the sense that to really be able to create some sort of taste in photos that we truly love and essentially not let others dictate the taste upon ourselves. Let me give you an example about food. So ask yourself, what kind of food would a child prefer? Some sort of like random Michelin 3-star restaurant, 5-star restaurant? Or like, I don't know, a nice slab of galbi, which is the Korean barbecue meat. I think the child will choose the galbi. Or what would a kid prefer? Some nice pork ribs or a kale salad. I'm sure the kid will choose the pork ribs. But anyways, so the big problem is in society we let our tastes get superimposed by others, and even this is what I realized in studying philosophy. Like most philosophers, to me, they're just talking nonsense and gibberish, and it's just not interesting to me. It doesn't read well, it's not fun to read. And actually, now I only do what I consider fun. So even when I read philosophy, it ain't like, you know, some sort of like educational must where it's like your parents are forcing you to study math or science or whatever. Essentially just my own personal curiosity, and actually it speaks to me. So for example, when I study philosophy, you know, huge fan of Nietzsche. Read a lot of the Stoics. They spoke to me, like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and so forth. And ultimately, things which will truly entertain you, or things which will really empower you, are often difficult, but they're also often personal, and they kind of relate to you. Microphone just fell off my camera. One of the things I love most about waking up in the morning is just going on a nice walk. Look at that. Cute little dog. In the nice ass park I'm at right now. Look at that cute dog running in the corner. Alright, in Rhode Island it's starting to get cold as a motherfucker. This is actually snow, which is crazy because man, hey, doing these videos is kind of fun. Anyways, so yeah, don't let others superimpose their tastes upon you, because honestly I think like everybody's just trying to sort of gain some sort of social ascendancy over each other. And actually, if you truly want to become the apex artist, philosopher, whatever, in some ways I think it's also important for you to enclose yourself. I call this like creative isolation. So for example, even for myself, the biggest gains I had in terms of just like my philosophical insight or my artistic insight was when me and Cindy spent a year living in Vietnam, where I'm actually really lucky because we're all away from like the nonsense of all these like American politics and stuff like that, which has allowed me to gain kind of more zen, allowed me to gain a little more calm, and allowed me to just kind of focus on my own personal thinking and thought. And it's probably also the one times I was the most like creatively productive with my artistic thinking and output and so forth. But anyways, so essentially what I mean to say is, when you're searching for inspiration, it's good for you to just kind of like experiment and just try to read a lot of different people, look at a lot of different people. And honestly, at the end of the day, all media is good media as long as it empowers you and gives birth to your own thoughts. So now my thoughts on media entertainment is this: good media is that which allows you to create more of your own art. Bad media is what entraps you into just doing media for media's sake. And I think this difference is important. So even when you're looking at photographers, think to yourself, like, do I really like this, or do I only think I like this because other people said that this is good or whatever? So essentially what I mean to say is that you should become a bullshit detector, right? Is that like, only like what you like, don't like what you don't like, and just follow your own gut in terms of what you like, what you prefer, what you don't like, what you don't prefer. Oh, it's a cold one. And Crazy Eric is only wearing a t-shirt like I always do. Alright. Ooh, okay, nice and warm again. Alright, cool. Alright, much better. Ooh, look at these. Cold as a mofo out there. Anyways, so let me continue my random ranting. So essentially what I mean to say is don't allow yourself to get bullied, because like when I was 21 and then started doing the whole like photography, street photography thing and YouTubing, whatever, essentially I think what happened was a lot of people were envious of my success and the fact that I was just so naive, which I think is actually a good thing. And I'm actually kind of really grateful for my naivete, because my naivete led me to just following my own gut, allowed me to just kind of pursue my own path. But once again, the problem is when I kind of lost my naivete, I suppose, and tried too hard to be to please others or to seem legitimate in the eyes of others. And I mean, I don't regret it, because in searching, whoa. Dang, someone threw a rager here last night. Oh, yo, check this. Holy moly, what went on here last night? Huh. I wonder if this was like part of the party. Holy moly. Yo, check out this debauchery. Interesting. Well, they got security cameras, so they'll probably figure out who did this. Oh, yeah. You know who it was? I know exactly who this was. It was Korean people. They got the soju right there. This one's birthday? They even left a disco light. Interesting. Anyways, let's continue our thinking. So, man, you don't smell so good. Anyways, so, wow, smoking cigarettes on the balcony. Man, these Koreans. It's okay. I could say this about Koreans because I'm Korean. Interesting. All right. So, anyways, yeah, don't let yourself get bullied by other people. Strive to remain ignorant as long as humanly possible. Follow your own gut. Don't let others superimpose their own taste on you. And if I could give advice to kids or anybody actually, really, it would be this: is that when people tell you about other artists X, Y, and Z, just really look at their work and ask, do I like this? Yes or no? And if you don't like it, you can say, I don't like it. Be like a kid, I don't like it. And then try to figure out why you don't like it. But also when you figure out what you do like, have the confidence say, I like this because of X, Y, and Z. And it actually is so funny too, because even now, since I'm more of a little more free-spirited now than I was in the past, I'll look at my own artistic likes and dislikes, and I'll be like, I try to listen to, even when it comes to music, I listen to a musician a lot, I listen to Kanye a lot or whatever, and I'll just listen to it at least 10 times, and then take your time to formulate your own opinion. Even with Kanye, a lot of people think it's crazy, but when they mean to say crazy, they mean to say ununderstandable and not a typical human, which I think he is. I think he's a genius. But then again, I think every child is a genius. Kanye is just essentially a big kid. And so I think, so am I. So I see a little bit of myself in Kanye, so that's why some people think Eric Kim is also crazy. And so take a while for you to formulate your own opinion. And if you do really like something, have the courage to say something that you really like something, even if you consider something lowbrow. So the more we could let aside standard notions of smartness or whatever, or what's politically correct or what's standardly accepted as good, then I think we could truly thrive.